Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Okay.
To mute yourself and also change your name in the Zoom box so that we know who's attending today and what city you're representing. So you'd hover over where your name is in the Zoom box where the three little dots are and click on rename and type in how you'd like to appear. We'll go ahead and get started. We're so glad you're joining us today.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Hey, Your Honor, we're happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the invite. Thank you. How's everything?
Excellent.
Great.
Growing, impacts growing, thanks to you and your colleagues.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you.
Hi, I'm John Clymer, Executive Director of the National Forum for Heart Disease and Stroke Prevention. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. We appreciate your engagement in the Move with the Mayor initiative, and we're delighted to kick off our 7th and biggest year yet. Our goal is to provide you with resources that make participating easy and provide value. As you know, the Move with the Mayor Physical Activity Challenge is comprised of 2 key components. First, hosting events that promote physical activity, and second, completing the Step It Up roadmap. We strive to continually improve the offerings provided to cities, and one of the ways we're doing this year is by ramping up technical assistance specifically around the roadmap. Our goal for today's call is to equip you with information on what the roadmap is and how it can benefit your city. During our time together, you'll gain insights from other cities that have completed the roadmap and learn about resources that you can use to inform and enhance your programming. You'll hear from your peers in 2 longtime Move with the Mayor cities, Carly Smitherman from West Chicago, Illinois, and Amber Van Allen from Green Bay, Wisconsin. National Forum team members will share information on specific elements of the roadmap and resources available to assist you. And Caitlin Graff, our partner with CDC's Active People Healthy Nation initiative, will discuss available resources and toolkits featured in the roadmap. We'll have time at the end of the session for questions and answers, and we look forward to your participation. First up now is Jen Childress, Director of Programs, to share an overview of the roadmap. Jen?
Thank you, John, and welcome, everyone. Earlier this month, you received an email with a link to the 2022 Move with the Mayor Step It Up Success Roadmap from your Community Engagement Coordinator. The roadmap is a tool that the National Forum developed in collaboration with the CDC's Divisions for Heart Disease and Stroke Prevention and Physical Activity, Nutrition, and Obesity. Each year, as we update the roadmap, we also take into account feedback from people who, like you, who are completing it, as well as from our partners at CDC and mayoral associations. The roadmap is designed to help you identify and strengthen your city's programs and policies to improve health and physical activity. By completing the roadmap, you will achieve a Step It Up score. The National Forum will use your Step It Up score to help us to improve our Move with the Mayor offerings and programming to you. Rest assured that this is not a report card. Rather, the roadmap is a self-assessment tool, and your individual scores will not be shared publicly. What we do share is an average of what has been achieved by section. For example, last year's cohort, the highest scoring areas included Parks and Rec, creating active communities, and schools. And the areas that had the most opportunity for growth included partnerships, policy, and health assessments. We also share levels of achievement. Last year, 17 cities completed the roadmap. 5 of those cities had completed it in the year 2020 and improved their score when they completed it this past year. In 2021, cities achieved the following levels: 2 gold, 5 silver, 1 bronze, and 4 striving. As you complete your roadmap, you will get your score in real time and be able to identify opportunities. In addition, by the end of the year, you will receive a roadmap recommendation report. Within this report, you will receive a summary of your responses, along with recommendations by each section to help guide your future programming. These recommendations include links to resources such as toolkits, as well as examples and strategies that have been successfully implemented by other cities. The recommendations will indicate that a strategy or resource helps improve health, nutrition, safety, health equity, cost savings to the city, and about awareness about improving heart health. In addition, our team will provide you with a press release template that you can use to share your participation and achievement within the initiative. We will also host a webinar to celebrate the successes and strategies learned. I'll now turn it over to Jasmine and Nicole, who will share with you more information on what you can expect.
Thank you, Jen, for the introduction, and thank you everyone for joining us today. So we're going to get into some commonly asked questions. Who should fill out the Step It Up roadmap? Everyone can contribute, and it may be helpful to coordinate with different department heads, county health department contacts, parks and rec, and school districts to accurately fill out the roadmap. Multiple users are allowed, and we encourage cities to assign each section to the appropriate person to allow for the most accurate completion of the roadmap, as well as to lighten the lift, as we know your time is valuable. How is it scored, and what does this score mean? Whether your city decides to use the PDF or the online version of the roadmap, it will auto-score your responses. Your score does translate to different levels, including gold, silver, bronze, and striving. However, as we have previously stated, it is not a report card, nor will we share your city's individual scores publicly. It is designed to help your city define the gaps in their programming for heart health. Next slide, please. Are there resources within the roadmap to help clarify expectations and provide insights into new programs? Absolutely. For example, there are links with information on how to become an Active People Healthy Nation champion. Additionally, we featured 3 resolution and proclamation templates, including one endorsed by the U.S. Conference of Mayors earlier this year, as well as links to walking audits and other helpful toolkits. Next slide, please. There are a grand total of 215 points, including bonus, on the roadmap this year. As we have added more bonus questions and updated the roadmap, our previous participants may notice the different levels and points required to achieve these levels have changed. Again, these scores are not a report card, but more of a guidepost to improving cardiovascular health programming in your city in the future. Next slide, please. Where do we find the Step It Up roadmap? The Step It Up to Success roadmap can be found at the bottom of the National Forum's Move with the Mayor collaboration page. The icon showed here will take you to the PDF version of the roadmap, as well as the bit.ly link that you see at the bottom of this screen. Coming up next, we'll be hearing from my colleague Jasmine about the online roadmap, as well as the content calendar.
Thanks, Nicole. Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to be going over the online roadmap and then go over the new content calendar. We're always looking for ways to improve your experience. In one of our meetings, we came up with an idea to have an online roadmap, in addition to the PDF version that Nicole went over. The idea behind this is to make it easier to fill out and to collaborate. And so here is a teaser of what it will look like. Each city will get a link and a password to share among its users. Only one user can fill it out at a time, but you can save and come back to where you left off. Once it's completed, it will be automatically calculated and it will compute your score, and the copy will be emailed to you. The roadmap will, the online version of the roadmap will be launched soon, and we will let you know when it's ready to go. So check your email for that announcement. Next slide. For our 2022 roadmap, we created a content calendar that will help you complete the activities as you go through the challenge. This is an interactive way to get through the challenge and the roadmap at the same time. Each section is divided by months, and the activities go in order from beginning of the roadmap. You can find the related page in the roadmap to the related suggested post. Next slide. Here's a few examples of the materials we have. On the left, here's our press release template, which is related to the activity Receive One Media Hit. Below it is a resolution related to publicly post proclamation. On the right, here is our September toolkit for our social media posts celebrating National Cholesterol Education Month and World Heart Day. Below it is a walking badge template. You can use it as is or customize it. All of these materials plus others are linked in this document. Our current document goes until October, and then we're creating another set for November and December. Here's examples of real life completed activities from the roadmap. Your city can do this too. The first example includes 2 media hits in the news from Mayor Kim Norton in Rochester, Minnesota. And on the right is Mayor Ogle of Frankfort, Illinois, publicly posting his partnership with Move with the Mayor. Thank you.
Now we're going to welcome Carly Smitherman, Program Administrator for Healthy West Chicago. And West Chicago, including Mayor Pineda, have been participants in Move with the Mayor since its inception 7 years ago. Thank you, Carly, for your time today. Can you share with us some tips that you found helpful when you first started filling out the roadmap, and tips that have proved useful over the course of time that you've filled out the roadmap for the next couple of years?
With the roadmap, I think it's very important to gather a team of individuals that can help you fill out the information correctly in each section. I work very closely with our staff at City Hall, so I'm not actually the only one that fills out the roadmap. We do it as a team effort. And when we are going through the questions that are outlaid, I always use our National Forum staff as a resource if I have any questions. Over the years, we have used the roadmap to kind of guide some of our initiatives and to improve some of our work in West Chicago, especially within City Hall and around our community.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit more in terms of some of the teammates that you pull in to help fill out the roadmap?
Yes, so we do have, I reach out to Mayor Pineda, of course. He is one of the main individuals that help go through the roadmap with me. But then I also have our marketing and communications director that assists with us, our Parks and Rec director, he helps me as well as our city administrator. So we normally try to tackle it all together. And if we have any additional questions that the 4 of us can't answer, we reach out to other individuals that work for the city.
Awesome. What a great team collaboration. So can you tell us a little bit in terms of how you use the roadmap strategically and what areas you've decided to focus on after completing the roadmap year 1 into year 2?
The section on worksite wellness and policy, we have made little changes that were driven by the roadmap over the past couple of years. We've been able to do little things like put up signage around all city city buildings. And a big part of it is like usage of stairs, little tips on how to be active throughout the day. We have a newsletter that goes out now that provides just little tips to how to stay active throughout the day, especially if you work at your desk, like to how to stretch throughout the day. We encourage the walking meetings. Mayor Pineda is very much one of the people that drive walking meetings. He tries to take most of his meetings outside when the weather is nice. And yeah, so the wellness section and policy change within the City Hall has been probably the most focused on section of the roadmap that we have implemented.
You've done a great job in terms of identifying areas for improvement and things that you can make some changes on within a short period of time. In terms of the approach to completing the roadmap, how do you suggest that other cities break it down, or what tips have you found useful when approaching completion?
What I do is when you send it out, I don't wait till last minute to complete it. We normally will divvy it up between the individuals I listed before and try to answer the questions that we can complete on our own. And then from there, just doing outreach to other organizations or other individuals within City Hall that can help answer our questions. So again, it's something that we don't just complete in an hour. We take our time to make sure that we have all the responses identified correctly. And then we also, at the end, will take our responses and see how we can make improvements the next year to hopefully score higher on the roadmap.
And in terms of the roadmap recommendation report that you receive after completing the roadmap, can you tell us a little bit about how that's helped or informed your strategies?
Yes, so year one, I don't believe we had the recommendations. So now that we do, I think it is very helpful because it provides you with examples, links to different resources, and just thanks to the National Forum, we're able to implement new policies and changes based off of what others have done, or look to others' examples that have worked well in different communities and able to make them work in West Chicago. So I feel like it's a great tool that is very beneficial to review if you are trying to make some positive changes in your community based off of the roadmap.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit more about any strategies that you gleaned or any policies that you implemented as a result of completing the city policy section?
A big policy that has been passed in West Chicago is the removal of unsweetened sugar beverages in West Chicago. So all of our vending machines actually in the school districts have either been removed or replaced with just water. And we also coordinated with a large company in West Chicago to donate refillable water stations. So that was one thing that was a great outcome. You won't see vending machines at any of our city buildings anymore either. And if there are, again, it has no sugar sweetened beverages in it. And the all the vending machines with like highly processed unhealthy treats have been removed. And that also goes for our park district. They removed their vending machines that were filled with candies and sweets, and they only provide vending machines with water, Gatorade, and some other flavored waters. So that was one great policy change that we've made in West Chicago. We're also working on within the walking audit, the inclusionary zoning section. We're trying to incorporate a more walkable community. So we're adding more sidewalks throughout West Chicago. We're connecting paths so that there's more availability to either walk or bike from one area of our city to another.
Awesome. Those are all incredible strategies and implementations to help enhance the health of your community members. Is there something that you can share that has been a really bright spot in terms of programming or that you're looking forward to this year?
With the new paths being put in West Chicago, we actually got a grant to put up some more signage. So we're excited to put up new signage along the Prairie Path. And also we are looking into incorporating some like repair bike stations on the Prairie Path in West Chicago as well, to hopefully get some more people out riding their bike and taking advantage of the beautiful trails.
Can you share with us Healthy West Chicago's website?
You can check out our website at healthywestchicago.org or our Facebook page, which you can find us at Healthy West Chicago.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Carly.
Thank you, Jen.
To share with us strategies related to the worksite health promotion programming segment of the roadmap, let's welcome Amber Van Allen, Program Administrator for the City of Greenway's Employee Wellness Programming. Welcome, Amber.
Thanks, Jen. Yeah, we are very excited that we've been a part of Move with the Mayor with the National Forum since the beginning. So we're very fortunate to have started when the Move with the Mayor initiative began. Here at the City of Green Bay, we have a well-being program called Health 1265. So 1265 Lombardi Avenue is the address of Lambeau Field. Being in Green Bay, that is then the name of our program, so Health 1265. And what we've really done here at the City of Green Bay is taken Move with the Mayor and incorporated that into our Health 1265 program. It's a very employee focused Move with the Mayor that we run here at the City of Green Bay. And so our employees are encouraged to go on walks throughout the month of September as part of Move with the Mayor. What we do is we hold at least 10 walks per week at locations throughout our city. So that would include our Department of Public Works, our water utility, City Hall, our transit location, our park shop, Mason Manor, Municipal Court. So we hold walks at all of those locations on a weekly basis, and employees are encouraged to participate in those walks. The timing of those walks changes from location to location. So for example, at our Public Works location, all the employees there actually check in the morning, they punch in, and they do their morning roll call, and then whoever wants to join the walk goes on the walk, and we do it as a group. City Hall, those walks are typically over the lunch hour. So it's a variation of what employees do on those walks, and it changes from location to location. And then as part of the Health 1265 program, employees actually get 25 points per walk that they participate in. So as I mentioned before, we do have a walk each week in September, and then we always hold a additional kind of bonus walk on National Heart Day. And that's kind of how we incorporate Move with the Mayor with our Health 1265 wellbeing program.
Awesome. Thanks, Amber. You mentioned that you promote and encourage employees to participate. How do you do that?
So I think a lot of it comes down to just that support. So we have, you know, the supervisors, the mayor, I mean, everybody is participating in these walks, if not leading the walks. And I think that is a big factor into the encouragement that employees see, you know, if they're superior, coworkers, anybody like that is out there promoting walking and joining in the walk and, you know, doing it live in person, it's a little bit more motivating for employees to also then join in themselves and participate. This year also too, the mayor and his office took it a little bit further with Move with the Mayor. And so they have a couple additional events that they are doing this month of September. They're kind of calling it Move with the Mayor, and then they do an additional wording with it. So like Move with the Mayor Cricket Edition. So the mayor is going to be joining some employees possibly and citizens out and doing game of cricket. He's also going to be doing a couple family night things, ultimate frisbee, as well as biking. And then he did pickleball earlier this week. So a few of those events, which make it fun. It's a good way to promote our parks in the city of Green Bay, including our rec leagues that we have with the pickleball and the ultimate frisbee.
You do a great job of that. Can you share with us how many millions of steps and trips around the earth that employees walked last September?
Yeah, the activity that we've had here at the city of Green Bay, in 2021, we actually accumulated total for all of our employees about 950 million steps, which then translates to about nearly 2 times around the earth. So that's a pretty cool thing to share with employees to see as a whole.
And you mentioned encouraging physical activity throughout the day. And on the roadmap, we had that employees are able to use flex time or walking or get paid activity breaks for walking or other physical activity. Can you share with us how that's structured?
Yeah, so here at the city of Green Bay, we try and promote activity throughout the day as much as possible, whether it's the Move with the Mayor walks, whether what I do here at City Hall on occasion is I'll just send an email out. Hey, I'm going for a walk at noon today. Who can join me? We're meeting outside of City Hall. A lot of times that activity and those breaks throughout the day aren't necessarily something employees don't want to do. It's one of those, all of a sudden you look at the time and you realize hours have gone by and you haven't moved, or you missed a morning break that you could or should have taken. So outside of the walking, I do lead stretching a couple times a week at different locations. Here in City Hall in particular, I go to a few different departments a couple times a week. I think outside of the physical benefits of doing the stretching, it's also very fun. We have, just banter, just chatting about stuff, laughing about stuff. I mean, the physical side to it of stretching obviously is a good thing, but I think emotionally and mentally just taking that break and stepping away from the computer, to talk about who's doing what for the weekend, or talk about, how a holiday weekend was. Any of those kinds of things are great breaks. I also lead a core class a couple days a week here at City Hall. Employees can either tune in virtually to attend the core class, or they can do it in person. So anytime you can pair, I think physical exercise with taking a break, it's a win all across the board.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how you measure the success of your program and some of the health-related outcomes that you've achieved?
Yeah, as far as some of the things that we've done here at the city to look at, I guess you could say data and markers and where we are, city of Green Bay versus Wisconsin, and then, kind of nationwide as well. We're definitely happy to say that our, high blood pressure percentage is lower than the state of Wisconsin. Anytime you have a lower percentage of population that has high blood pressure is a good thing. So we're happy about that. And then, we have a lower percentage of employees that use tobacco products, which is great. We have a pretty high utilization for our EAP program, which also ties into all of that. So I think all of those factors are really neat here to share with employees. And so thankfully that we've worked with the National Forum to, do some cool infographics and some ways to show that data to our employees. It's important to not just have them, do a health assessment or answer questions on a survey, but then turn around and show them the results of it, so that they're not wondering, well, where did that go, or how do we compare, type of thing. I think that's something that we try to do a pretty good job here at the city, is just sharing those results and being as transparent as we can with the employees so they can get an accurate gauge of where we are.
That's incredible, Amber. Can you share with us how at the city of Green Bay you've implemented city health assessments into your overall program planning? That's a section that ties back into the roadmap.
Yeah, I think one of the most important factors into, why we have a pretty successful program here at the city of Green Bay is just listening to our employees. So we've provide an opportunity for them each year to give their feedback on our Health 1265 survey. And we take that survey data and results, and we sit with a programming committee, talk through all of the data. And then from those results and feedback, that's how we plan our next Health 1265 scorecard year, as we call it. So all of that input that employees are giving us on what they may be interested in or different ideas, we use that data to then plan our scorecard. We don't just come up with random programming and plans to do, but we really take their feedback, listen to what types of things and ideas they have. And obviously, if there's something we can't do, we can't. But for the most part, everything that they give us for data, we use for our programming in an upcoming year. We also do health assessments here at the city. We've done them for, I think it's close to 20 years. We bring them on site every year, and that is the blood work portion of it. There is also a questionnaire, a self-reported questionnaire section of the health assessment. So I take that data, look at some of the things employees are saying that they're interested in, and make sure either one that aligns with what the feedback is that we're getting with Health 1265, or if it's different, what are some other options or some other ideas or topics that we can bring in, discussions we can have, presenters we can have.
Well, thank you so much, Amber, for sharing all of the elements and strategies that you use within Health 1265 and Move with the Mayor. You're doing an incredible job, and we appreciate you being longtime participants. So thanks for sharing your knowledge, and we'll head on to the next session.
Thanks for your time, Jen.
Thank you, Carly and Amber. Next up, we have Caitlin Graff, Program Coordinator supporting physical activity work at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you so much, Jen. Today, I'm going to be sharing some information and resources about physical activity, which you can use to help your community become more activity friendly and can enhance your work with Move with the Mayor. We know that physical activity is one of the best things that people can do for their health, seeing benefits immediately and over time. We also know that creating activity-friendly communities can yield additional benefits beyond health. They can help improve safety, social cohesion, air quality, and local economies. All of these co-benefits have relevance for state and local resilience and equity. Recognizing the benefits of physical activity and the level of inactivity in the country, CDC created Active People, Healthy Nation. The core of Active People, Healthy Nation is the 7 strategies to increase physical activity, which all sit on a base of equitable and inclusive access. All of these strategies are based on evidence from the Community Preventive Services Task Force, which is an independent group that analyzes the state of the science and offers recommendations on the evidence for different topics. The main strategy that we currently focus on at CDC is the top one, activity-friendly routes to everyday destinations. This strategy connects routes like bike paths, sidewalks, and transit to places that people typically go to, like grocery stores, health clinics, parks, and schools. By working on creating and improving activity-friendly modes of transportation that go to these everyday destinations, we solve for a couple of issues that people have with being physically active, including not having enough time and not having places to be active. If you're able to walk or roll to the grocery store, you can get in some activity and complete an errand at the same time. Section 2 of the Move with the Mayor roadmap, starting on page 3, focuses on designing activity-friendly communities for physical activity, which falls into this strategy. The Community Preventive Services Task Force also recently released a new recommendation that combines park, trail, or greenway infrastructure improvements with one or more additional activities to increase physical activity and infrastructure use. These additional activities could include things like community engagement, public awareness, programming, and access enhancements. Parks are often one of the top destinations for physical activity, and so equitable park access is really important in communities. Section 3 of the Move with the Mayor roadmap, starting on page 7, focuses on parks and recreation. Since no one sector can do this work alone, we created these sector-specific web pages, which provide information about what different sectors can do to increase physical activity. These pages include strategies, real-world examples, and recommended resources. We have a couple of other resources which are mentioned in the Move with the Mayor roadmap that I'm going to briefly cover now. The first one is an Active People, Healthy Nation proclamation, which you can find on page 2 of the roadmap. Passing a proclamation shows that you support creating activity-friendly communities. Elected or appointed officials can download, adapt, and adopt a proclamation for their jurisdiction. And you can get the proclamation at the link on this slide. This slide also shows all of the cities, counties, and states that have currently passed a proclamation so far. Thank you so much to those of you who have already passed one, and happy to answer any questions from those of you who are interested. We also have the Active Communities tool, also known as the ACT tool, which is composed of an action planning guide and assessment modules. The ACT helps cross-sector teams create an action plan for improving the community-built environments that promote physical activity consistent with their community context. There are 6 assessment modules which can be completed individually or together. 3 of those modules are focused on the activity-friendly routes portion and 3 on the everyday destinations. By completing this assessment, you can better understand which plans or policies your community has, as well as areas that you can work on to create an activity-friendly community. We also have a couple of training opportunities that you can take advantage of. On page 3 of the Move with the Mayor roadmap, you'll see information about a distance learning series called Complete Streets, Complete Communities. One of our partners, Smart Growth America, has created a comprehensive training which you're eligible to take for free as part of your participation with Move with the Mayor. The modules provide information on complete streets, health equity, community engagement, building coalitions, and quick builds. The roadmap provides a link with more information on the modules and shows how you can access them. A second opportunity is the Active People Healthy Nation Champions Institute, which is also run by Smart Growth America. This is a more intensive 9-month training for elected officials, which helps lead people from visioning to implementation of safe and convenient activity-friendly routes that lead to everyday destinations. The third cohort recently started, but if you are interested, check back with the Smart Growth America website for more information in the future. In the meantime, though, you can check out the Champions Corner, which provides information and resources specifically for elected and appointed officials on the same topics. To stay in the loop about Active People Healthy Nation, you can sign up for our monthly newsletter using the QR code or go to our Getting Started page. And finally, here is my contact information if you have any questions or would like to be in touch. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for being a wonderful partner and sharing these resources. Next up, we are moving to Q&A. So everybody, please feel free to unmute yourselves and raise your hand if you would like to ask a question, or you can put your question in the chat box.
Well, thank you, Jen and Caitlin. That was a great session. A lot of great sharing there. We have one question already from Craig Schmid in St. Louis, and he's asking Carly Smitherman how, when the mayor's out for a walking meeting, how do you handle it so that he isn't constantly interrupted by people seeing him and approaching? How is he able to continue the meeting?
I think we have lost Carly.
Oh, nothing like a live meeting to bring out the technical difficulties. So, all right, if we get Carly back, we'll pose that question. If not, Craig will follow up. And I did put an answer about how Rochester, Minnesota's mayor handles that. I put that in the chat. And then Amber, gosh, that was a great presentation, and I have so enjoyed seeing your work in Green Bay. It's been exciting over the years. Congratulations. And everything from simple things like the signs by the elevators in City Hall to consider taking the stairs, and it works. You know, more people take the stairs. So it's exciting to see your results. Craig also asked a question for you. You referred to blood pressure data, and he asked, how do you obtain that data?
Yeah, so our employees participate in health assessments every year. And so the data that we use and have used for our infographic to compare ourselves to the state of Wisconsin and to the United States is aggregate data. So all the employees who participate in a health assessment for blood pressure, for example, their scores get in categories, which would be an extreme risk, a high risk, medium, moderate, or minimal risk. So we use those percentages of employees that fell into those categories to produce that number to compare against Wisconsin and the United States.
Okay, great. And do you want to take a swing at the first question? I know in the time that I've known you and worked with you, you've worked under 2 different mayors who do walking meetings. So how do they handle that?
Yeah, I'm not sure how they have, or if they've gotten, have into conversations while they've been on, a walking meeting or not. But I do like the idea of the wearing a walking meeting, sticker or a little sign like that. That's a great idea.
All right. Well, we'll share with everybody a picture of what that looks like so you can see the example. And we might even come up with Move with the Mayor lanyards and tags and provide them for you and your mayors. So are there any other questions? I think maybe we have time for one more question.
If we don't, I'll add a bit of info in terms of the city of Little Rock. Mayor Scott does a Scott Strolls program where they have a sign up in advance where 20 people from the community can join him at a time. And so they kind of know that during that set walking period that they're able to ask him whatever questions they'd like to. And so with having that small group of people, it allows for conversation, but also, to keep it managed as well.
All right. Well, I hope I'm not overlooking any raised hands. If I am, I apologize. I want to keep things moving and respect everyone's time. So Jen, I think you're introducing Michelle.
Yep, thanks, John. So next up, we have Michelle Snyder from our team of Community Engagement Coordinator, who many of you know, to share an update with you about some resources.
Thanks, Jen. We frequently get asked about strategies being implemented by Move with the Mayor participating cities. To help share program successes and highlights, the National Forum works with select cities to help share their stories. Each year, when your roadmap is submitted, your Community Engagement Coordinator will review the strategies being used by each of their cities, paying particular attention to ways we can assist by providing resources and technical assistance. We also take note of the work cities are doing to impact their community. We invite the mayor and other city personnel to share with our team the strategies and successes. Those discussions lead to the case studies shown as examples here. On our website, you can find a series of these case studies highlighting what cities are doing to create a culture of health, promote active transportation, link with local health departments and community health care, and build strategies to address social determinants of health. We'd love to hear what you are doing in your communities.
Thanks, Michelle. And we are just about at the end of the time that we asked you to contribute today. I want to thank everybody for participating. Great presentations. Thanks, Carly. Thanks, Amber. Thanks, Caitlin, Michelle, great job. And Craig and others, thank you for the questions. They're great questions, and we appreciate the opportunity to answer them. We're very excited to have each of your communities involved in the Move with the Mayor Fall Challenge and participating with the roadmap. The communities who have used the roadmap in previous years, I think you've seen examples today. If you're new to it, they keep coming back because there's value. And so we're excited about this opportunity to help you, help your communities and the residents whom you serve to have longer, more independent lives and to have a more vital community. So thank you for using Move with the Mayor. Thank you for being here today. And please feel free to call on the Move with the Mayor team at the National Forum anytime you have a question, you're looking for technical assistance, or there's anything that we can do to help you be successful in the community. As Jen said, following today's meeting, please be on the lookout for an email with links to the various resources that have been mentioned. We'll capture them all. I know Caitlin put a lot of links into the chat. If you haven't had a chance to get all of them, don't fear, we'll get them to you. With that, on behalf of Move with the Mayor, all my colleagues at the National Forum, thank you again for your participation.